Alright, Mortal Shel is in the building. Can we beat Mortal Shel without taking a single damage? Let's not think about it too much and let's get right into the game, shall we? Now, like most of you guys already know, or probably don't know, is that this game is Souls-like, and it comes in with a different twist. Instead of shields, you have Harden, which is going to be our main mechanic for avoiding damage throughout the game. Let me just say that this is not going to be a single segment. We can potentially get hit, but every single time that we'll get hit, we'll go back to our previous area, and they will continue from there, just so we can prove that the game is completely no damageable. We're gonna get do some tutorial here. Get our sword, and we're out. So the first boss here is gonna be Haddon. He is pretty much the first Genichiro fight of like Sekiro. Basically, this is the tutorial boss, and you're gonna see the first instance of like me manipulating the AI. So to prevent ourselves from taking damage to Harden, I'm gonna be far away from him to force him to do a jump attack on me, and then we punish that. And if he hardens, we'll get some distance and then jump on him. Oof, the standoff. Oof. He walked into the hitbox. That's pretty much Haddon. If I didn't mention it before, by beating Haddon you actually get 15 glimpses, which is a pretty good chunk of glimpses. There's something I didn't explain yet. So the currency in this game is actually two. You got tars and you also got glimpses. So for tar is basically your main currency, like souls in Dark Souls. And glimpses is strictly just for abilities. We're not going to use glimpses because this is going to be a shell-less run. We're not going to use any shells. This is going to be completely shell-less. As you can see, like I'm consuming very little stamina for every action that I do. Shell-less is the one where you have the most stamina of. And the reason we go here is because he is guarding the mechanical spike. Now the mechanical spike is sort of like an attachment you put to the hollow sword. And so we're going to go here, which is kind of like a bench, and we're going to apply the weapon enhancement. So we now have the mechanical spike. It says gain resolve from attacking enemies to activate a powerful weapon ability. Now resolve, which is something I didn't explain either, is like your mana. But the way it works here is they're divided by bars. So any ability, any sort of active ability that you will use or a special requires X amount of bars of resolve to be able to utilize it. And for the mechanical spike, we need 2. Now, as you can see, we have 4 of those. That means we can use our ability twice. Another thing is that you already know that we will die to fall damage. So the way we prevent from taking fall damage, and this is actually only shell-less. If you harden in the air, you don't take any. You can only do this shell-less. So yeah, the way you get resolve is by attacking enemies. You can also drink moonshine, and that will give you resolve. But we're not going to be using moonshine. And this guy is definitely not going to need moonshine either. The reason we're not going to need moonshine is because we're going to be using another item that helps us get a lot of resolve very quickly. On top of that, this guy, when you're shell-less, you gain a lot of resolve per hit. I think this guy has the highest resolve per hit. You'll see later how pretty broken it is. First item that we're going to get, which is called the quenching acid. Now the quenching acid is a sort of like a crafting material. It actually increases our weapon damage by 1. And we need 5 of them to increase our weapon damage to max. So the first three quenching acids we're gonna get it relatively early. Gonna go through a couple dudes here and there. And we're basically in temples. So we're actually on our way to our first boss. But before that, we're gonna get 2 more quenching acids. And we're also, since we got here, we're gonna talk to the most important NPC of the run, which is gonna be Ganessa.
You're an adorned foundling.
The thing about Ganessa is that she actually is the NPC you talk to upgrade abilities when you're using shells. Right now she is sort of useless, but not quite. With Ganessa, we're gonna use her to teleport back to her, and this will help us avoid a lot of like the bad sections that we could potentially get hit. Now we also have the bench here, which is called the anvil. We're going to increase our weapons damage, and this is gonna be useful for the first fight. we go. We're gonna open this tomb. This tomb contains the important item, the most important item for the whole run, which is called the Untarnished Mask. Now, the Untarnished Mask is basically the homeward bone of Dark Souls. If you guys don't know what that means, is basically the item that lets us teleport to desired destination. That is the item we're gonna use to teleport back to Ganessa, coming back. That's also gonna be the main item we're gonna be using for every single boss that we defeat, mainly the gland bosses. And on to the first boss. There's something that I didn't explain. In this game, to be able to finish the game, you need to get 3 glands. They're guarded by bosses. So this is going to be the first gland boss. His name is Imrod. Once we kill him, we acquire the gland, and we can move on. So Imrod is not like a really hard boss. Out of the other bosses that we fight, he's gonna be the easiest boss, which is why we have him first. But the other reason why we have him first is because we have, because of the access we have of the items, the most important items for the beginning. We set up everything after we get past Imrod. There we go. Go for this. We can go for it here. There we go, and done with the first phase. Now, second phase, we're gonna play a little bit different. He has an attack that's really quick and is really hard to avoid. So, for the sake of not getting destroyed by this guy, we're going to manipulate him a little bit. Every single time you're far from Imrod, he will choose to prioritize getting to you. Given that, we can always force him to forego any attack he's going to do and immediately chase us. And since we have a lot of stamina because this is shellless, we can afford to just keep on running away, baiting him, and then go for attacks. So we're gonna walk away, and then bait him to come to us. We'll do this. We'll go for 2 hits, which is the safest, and then we're gonna bait him to run towards us again, and use the ability. And we'll try to repeat this as soon as we get to resolve, and then from there we'll walk away. They can chase us and ability, and then he's down to like a couple hits. There we go. He's like 1 hit away, and boom. Now, since we have the Untarnished Mask, we're gonna use it to go from here straight to Ganessa, and this will take us to the Ganessa from the beginning. This is gonna be the strat that we're gonna be using every single time we go for a gland boss. The reason behind that is because once you get a gland, the game gets harder in a way. So the enemies that you saw when we were coming in will no longer exist, and they will be substituted for sort of vampire monsters, creatures. And now, instead of being Fallgrim, which is like where the hub area is, now this place is called The Mist, which you're gonna see pretty quickly. Right? You're gonna see there's vampires down there. You can't see it right now. I'm gonna go down there for a second. But there's one thing that I want to mention. We need more Untarnished Mask to be able to do the same thing with other places. Unfortunately, Untarnished Mask is a very limited resource compared to like the Homeward Bones from Dark Souls. So down there's another Untarnished Mask. We're gonna get the Untarnished Mask on that glowing bright statue. That's gonna be the Untarnished Mask that we're going to use for when we come back from the second boss fight. Now there's 3 of these guys, and I actually want to bait them all 3 to come towards me because I need to get that mask safely. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to attack the middle guy, and then I'm gonna trigger the other ones to follow me the same way. Rolling out. I'm gonna bait them to come all the way up, and they'll get stuck in this lamp here. Or not lamp, they'll get stuck in that little torch ticky kind of thing, and we'll go down. Pardon. And there we go. We get the Untarnished Mask, and we run away. Now we're gonna pick one last item here. The Extracted Tar. This is gonna be also necessary to be able to buy the items we're gonna need for increasing the weapon damage. So this is the merchant. We're gonna buy. This is the merchant, and right here is the 2 quenching asses that we're gonna need. You gotta always pet the cat. You can't go away without petting the cat. That's a sin. Now we have 4 quenching acids that we can use to upgrade our weapon, and this will max out the damage of our hollow soul. There we go. We're gonna get the seal here, but we don't need it. It's just that we need to speak to this NPC to be able to give him the glands, and this will make the mist disappear. We're gonna give him the gland, and as you can see, the mist disappears. Now there's no mist. You'll see that the vampires are no longer there, and what we're gonna get is actually the regular enemies right here. Now that we got the first gland, we got 2 more glands to go. Also something cool, the tracking is pretty insane in this game. Watch. This route is probably one of my favorite routes. You're gonna see right now it's a little bit of a catacombish, but afterwards it's gonna be like pretty nice, like old ruins, kind of icy kind of place. We're gonna use our golden bell. Now that we have golden bell, check how this goes. Well, you made me waste my golden bell, Grisha. You piece of shit. There we go. And now we kill Grisha. Oh, we didn't need to use that. Alright. As you can see in the middle, you're gonna see icicles falling down. If we get hit by those, it's over. Now here's Ganessa, but we're not going to talk to Ganessa because we don't want to teleport to this Ganessa. We want to teleport to the one on the hub this time. So this chest holds another golden bell. We're going to need it, not for the gland boss, but we're going to use it for the other one. And this is the place I'm talking about. This place is crazy cool. Now, my old route was to go through this whole place, but thanks to some speedrunners, and I actually saw this from a No Damage runner actually, you can just dip here and... voila! We got all the way to the end. Dropped from the top all the way to the end, and we're already at the boss fight. Now this is a really cool boss fight. In my community, we call him Silver Surfer, in a way. His armor is pretty cool. I wish this guy was like the Cinder version, but he only has 1 weapon. Just kind of swag it out a little bit here. So one thing peculiar about this fight is that this guy teleports from time to time, and he will only teleport where you're looking at. So if I'm looking at towards him, he will teleport there. If I'm looking this way, he will teleport here. And it's actually where your character is looking at, not where the camera is. So if I'm looking this way and I'm looking at him, look where he teleports. Right? Throw. And that's the end of the fight. Now this guy goes ham now. Starts sliding everywhere. 5 feet. There we go. Nice job. Now what I mean by 5P is actually 5 punishes. Another thing that I didn't mention about this guy, when he's doing this, if you walk towards him, you'll make him dash away. And I actually like to do this to make him cycle through actions. "5P again. 1, 2, 3, dodge, 4, 5. And then we go for the finishing blow. Dead. As you guys already know, once we get the gland, things start to get dark. But I don't really want to go through all this. So, like you guys already expected, we're going to TP all the way to the hub. And we skip a lot by doing this. So now 2 glands down, we need 1 more gland before we get to the end of the game. Okay, so we really don't need anything else. We can straight go for the boss. So let's do that right now. Get past this guy. This will take us to the Eternal Narthex. This is probably the hardest route of all 3 routes that leads to Glam bosses. And the reason I leave it for last is not because of that. It's because the boss itself is easier to deal with than it is for me to deal with the previous boss that we just faced. By the way, if you guys want to see a full segmented no-hit run, which what I mainly do, you'll find it in the description. There you will see how I beat the game in a single segment from start to finish without getting a single hit. There's actually also no damage because we're using the shellless. Also, if you want to know, this is basically what I dedicate myself to, beating games without getting hit. Oof, nice 360. Now, one thing that's pretty different in this route that there is from the rest of the routes is that the Eternal Narthex, you have to extinguish 3 flames like these to be able to progress to the next part of the game. Now we're gonna do something here that I call the Swaggy Blasty, as we're gonna try to extinguish the flame while going down. So let's see. Oof. And I think I actually did it. We'll see. Yes, nice job. That's what I called the Swaggy Blasty. 1 flame down. We're gonna go for 2 more. There's the second one. I want this character to be looking away, which she is doing now. By a character I mean that NPC, because if she notices me too early, she'll shoot me. So now we're about to go to the second half of the route, which is the hard part of the game. And you're gonna see me do a series of manipulations against the archers because I want the archers to switch weapons, which is another thing that I didn't explain. The archers have also a melee side, which if you get close to them, they would opt to go for. So if I get close to the archer will switch weapons or switch into a melee. Alright, hardest part coming up. Here we go. That's 1 down. Right here. Manipulate her. There we go. And we're out. Good. Manipulate this one. Manipulate this one. Right here. There we go. And here I got 2 options, but I think I'm gonna go for double the pleasure. You're gonna see what I call double the pleasure here. There's 2 archers here and I'm gonna bait them to come towards me. This is the double the pleasure. Here we go. There we go. They die in 2 hits, but I make sure just in case. Go for the 3rd hit. Take the teleport, and we're actually gonna take this teleport to get 1 more untarnished mask. Probably noticed I already used the last 2 I had, and we need 1 more to actually be able to skip a big portion of the route. So this one is gonna be the last untarnished mask we get. A little bit more of AI manipulation here. We're gonna wait, let her change. On to the last boss. Now this actually tricks you a little bit. I think you're gonna be drinking this, but watch. You start falling, and if you already know, you can break the fall by hardening. You're gonna use the golden bell, and the golden bell is actually pretty important. Not really so much for the first fight, but for the second phase. You're gonna see how very little buttons this guy will press in the second phase. For a 3P, you can sidestep this move right here. And then kill him. So now, check this out. We're actually gonna loop this guy. We're gonna do special, light, heavy, jump attack into special again. If things goes well, he will not be able to press buttons. Here we 1, 2, heavy, this, and then we go for this. 1, 2, heavy, this. Light, heavy, trip attack. Like I said, he's not pressing buttons at all. And we get more. We get a lot more resolve. We actually ended up with one more ability to spend. That's how insane it is. Golden Belt together with Shellless. And we dip. Alright, so now we're gonna get the last glance to the NPC. And before we go to the hole, we're gonna get one last item, which is gonna be the bell, the golden bell. We're actually going to consume tar here. And there we go, we get the golden bell. Thankfully enough, we can actually activate the bell here. It would have been really suckish if we had to activate the bell inside the boss fight. Alright, so it turns out that you cannot use the bell inside. I actually tried to use the bell here and it didn't work out, so I had to just get out, look for a bell again, and do this again. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to consume the bell after he attacks us, and we'll get space from him and then use the bell there. And hopefully I can show you guys the cheese.
It's all wrong.
Looking at the wrong place, my guy. Alright, here we go. Go away. And then consume the bell. Let's do this. There you go. 2, 3. 1, 2, heavy, jump. It's pretty much this. This is pretty much it. My god, sir, you're in Stunt City, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not letting you press buttons at all. I'm not letting you press buttons at all, son. So yeah, guys, if you guys want to try this before getting patched, as soon as you see this video, plug in the controller and unplug his controller. There you go. So yeah, like I mentioned it already, I think I did mention it already, the full run, single segment, full run for this game, you're gonna find it in potentially the previous video. I'll actually have it on the end of this video as well, or it will be in the description. So if you guys are wondering, some of the strats that I showed you here, I do not use them. For example, the way I kill this guy, I didn't do it. I had to do it the hard way. So I just had to get good. Send. But yeah, this is how you beat the game without taking a single drop of damage. Oh my god, this skin looks OD, dude. Oh, we leaving Venom? Oh shit. Oh, we leaving Venom, dude. Oh no. Venom is so cool though. Venom is so cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more of like what I kind of do, which is like no hit runs, then please do come by my Twitch channel. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Okay. No, this is perfectly fine. This is perfectly fine.
And there goes the car.
This is not perfectly fine.